This is Daily Armenia, ＳivilNet's daily news digest. Here's what's making headlines in Armenia today. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken spoke by phone yesterday with Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev to stress the importance of reaching a durable normalization agreement between Armenia and Azerbaijan, just days after his latest phone call with Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan. In addition, the statement from Aliyev's office reiterated Azerbaijan's demands for Armenia to change its constitution and terminate the Minsk Group, the international body tasked with mediating a peaceful solution to the conflict, as preconditions to reach a deal. Those are seen as non-starters in Yerevan. On top of that, Blinken and Aliyev discussed COP29, the upcoming United Nations climate summit scheduled to be held in Baku in November. Blinken's talks with Aliyev came less than a week after his latest phone call with Pashinyan, also to discuss the state of ongoing normalization talks. Meanwhile, State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller reiterated yesterday that Washington remains open to hosting another meeting between the Armenian and Azerbaijani foreign ministers. Pashinyan and his Georgian counterpart, Irakli Kobakhidze, pledged yesterday to continue efforts to strengthen ties, building on their two countries' historic strategic partnership agreement reached in January. "We talked about the deepening of our relations in all directions," Kobakhidze told reporters alongside Pashinyan, who had arrived in Tbilisi for an official visit. Pashinyan said he briefed Kobakhidze on the latest developments in ongoing efforts to reach a normalization deal with Azerbaijan, reiterating that Armenia remains ready to sign a partial agreement as soon as possible. For his part, Kobakhidze said Georgia supports peace and stability in the South Caucasus and welcomes the positive progress toward the resolution of the conflict between Armenia and Azerbaijan. At their press briefing, both prime ministers specifically name-checked infrastructure as a joint priority, with Pashinyan arguing that Georgia would also stand to benefit from Armenia and Azerbaijan agreeing to reopen international transit routes across the region. An Armenian court last week ordered a new trial for former President Robert Kocharyan, 3 years after he was acquitted on charges of leading a coup in connection with post-election violence that rocked Yerevan in 2008. Kocharyan was initially prosecuted alongside his former chief of staff, Armen Grigoryan, and two retired army generals over a lethal police crackdown on demonstrators protesting the election of former President Serge Sarkisyan to succeed Kocharyan. The incident, known widely as the March 1st events, resulted in the deaths of 8 protesters and 2 police officers, and remains an unresolved scar on Armenian society. Prosecutors first brought charges of overthrowing the constitutional order against Kocharyan in 2008, after Pashinyan came to power, but that case ended after the Constitutional Court ruled the charges unconstitutional in 2021. This new trial stems from a July ruling by the Constitutional Court, which found that prosecutors could still bring charges against Kocharyan of illegal use of force in connection with the March 1st events. Kocharyan's lawyers did not immediately react to last week's decision. They had earlier accused the Constitutional Court of enabling Pashinyan to resume what they call the government's political persecution of their client. Kocharyan, who now leads Armenia's main opposition group, has long denied the charges as politically motivated. Even if Kocharyan is found guilty, he will not serve time in jail, as the statute of limitations has expired. Under Pashinyan, the Armenian government has pursued a number of high-profile cases against Kocharyan and other former senior officials. In May, the courts acquitted Sarkisyan of embezzlement charges. A pillar of SivilNet's reporting is bringing you insightful interviews with leading figures from the realms of politics, culture, and all things Armenian. Check out our new interview with Garo Paylan, a former deputy in the Turkish parliament of Armenian descent. He gives his insights on the potential opening of the Armenia-Turkey border and discusses the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead in fostering improved relations between the countries. In addition, watch our interview with Stepan Baghdasaryan, founder and CEO of winesofarmenia.com, who gives us a deep dive into the prospects and obstacles for Armenia's burgeoning wine industry and what its future may hold. You can find links to both broadcasts in this video's description or on our website, civilnet.am. And finally, the SivilNet number of the day is 100. That's because today is the 100th anniversary of the death of American-Armenian painter Manuel Azadikyan. In the wake of his untimely passing on the brink of fame at just age 22, while painting the portrait of a famous Broadway actress, his works mysteriously disappeared and his name slipped into obscurity. That's changing now, after a century, as a movement to uncover his lost works has resulted in some resurfacing at auction, where they have fetched impressive sums and brought renewed interest to his extraordinary story. And as always, please follow CivilNet for the latest news and independent reporting from our contributors on the ground here in Armenia.